The observation deck of the Nexus station hung in the void like a crystalline jewel, its transparent walls offering an unobstructed view of the swirling nebula beyond. Melissa stood before the gathered council of the Galactic Consortium, her posture relaxed in a way that made the assembled delegates visibly uncomfortable. They floated in their specialized gravity harnesses, their bodies adapted to environments ranging from 0 to G to 0, 7G at maximum. To them, she was an impossibility made flesh. Professor Jean, the leading xenobiologist of the consortium and a creature resembling an elongated mantis with opalescent carapace, adjusted his translation matrix. His compound eyes refracted the station's ambient light into 1,000 fractured rainbows as he studied the human female before him. You claim your homeworld operates at 1 full standard gravity unit. Jota clicked his mandibles, working in what Melissa had learned to recognize as profound skepticism. This is, quite simply, impossible. Our models have been refined over 47,000 cycles. No carbon-based biology can sustain structural integrity under such crushing force. Melissa exchanged a glance with Jack, who stood beside her in his crisp Earth Defense Initiative uniform. Jack's expression remained carefully neutral, but she caught the slight twitch at the corner of his mouth that barely suppressed urge to smile at the absurdity of their situation. Professor, Melissa began, her voice carrying the patience of someone who had explained this to many times already. I understand your models. I've reviewed them extensively, but I'm standing here without any harness, any anti-gravity assistance, and somehow I'm not being crushed into a puddle on your deck plating. The council chamber erupted in a cascade of alien vocalizations, whistles, clicks, subsonic rumbles. Ambassador Kryn, a gelatinous being from Hydros Prime who existed in a specialized containment suit, pulsed an urgent orange. Perhaps these humans have some form of internal gravity manipulation technology, implanted from birth. Jack stepped forward, his boots making solid contact with the deck in a way that caused several delegates to flinch. No implants, Ambassador. What you're looking at is pure biology. He reached up and casually loosened his collar. We evolved in 1G. Our bones are dense calcium hydroxyapatite matrices. Our muscles are composed of highly efficient protein filaments. Our cardiovascular system operates at pressures that would rupture your circulatory equivalents. Professor Jothic's translation matrix emitted a sound like grinding. Gears his species equivalent of incredulous laughter. Impossible. The energy requirements alone would be catastrophic. Your metabolism would need to process nutrients at a rate that would generate lethal thermal output. You would cook from the inside out. Melissa nodded slowly. You're not wrong about the energy requirements, Professor. An average human consumes between 2,000 and 3,000 kilocalories per day. Our basal metabolic rate is significantly higher than any species represented in this chamber. She gestured around the room. We also have remarkably efficient cooling systems, eccrine glands, distributed across our entire epidermis that secrete aqueous solutions for evaporative cooling. You leak liquid to regulate temperature. Delegate Prin, a crystalline being from a frozen moon, chimed with crystalline horror. That's barbaric and wasteful. It's effective, Jack countered. He began to pace, and Melissa noticed how every eye equivalent in the chamber tracked his movement with something approaching fear. Would you like a demonstration of what 1G evolution produces? Before anyone could protest, Jack dropped smoothly into a series of push-ups 1, 2, 3, 10, 20. The delegates watched in stunned silence as he lifted and lowered, his entire body mass against the station's artificial gravity field. His breathing barely elevated. Jothic's translator emitted a series of stuttering clicks. This should not be possible. The muscular structure required to over 600 muscles, Melissa interrupted softly. Approximately 206 bones in the adult skeletal system, many of which bear loads dozens of times their own mass during routine activity. Our heart muscular pump generates sufficient pressure to circulate blood through over 60,000 miles of vessels, fighting against gravitational resistance with every beat. Jack finished his demonstration and rose smoothly to his feet, not even winded. We jump, Professor. On Earth, children do this. We propel our entire body mass against gravity, achieve brief flight, and land safely, repeatedly, for fun. The chamber fell into shocked silence. Finally, Ambassador Kryn pulsed a deep violet confusion mixed with dawning comprehension. You're saying your species ... plays in conditions that would crush our finest warriors. Our children play in those conditions, Melissa confirmed. Our elderly live in those conditions. Our infirm adapt to those conditions. 1G isn't crushing for us, Ambassador. It's home. It shaped everything we are. Professor Jotik floated closer, his harness humming softly. His tone had shifted from skepticism to scientific fascination. How did your species achieve space travel? The energy requirements to escape such a deep gravity well. Jack's expression finally cracked into a genuine smile. Chemical rockets, initially, controlled explosions that produced enough thrust to overcome Earth's pull. It took us decades of trial and error, but we learned to build structures that could withstand forces of multiple Gs during ascent. Multiple ... Gs. Jotik's translator struggled with the concept. 3, 4, sometimes 5 times Earth normal gravity during launch. Melissa added. Our astronauts trained extensively to endure such forces. The human body can survive briefly up to 9 Gs with proper conditioning and equipment. The silence that followed was profound and complete. Finally, Delegate Prince spoke, his crystalline voice cracking with something that might have been awe. You evolved in Hell, survived Hell, and then built engines powerful enough to escape Hell through sheer determination. Jack and Melissa exchanged another glance. We call it Earth, Melissa said gently, and we'd like very much to establish diplomatic relations with the consortium. Professor Jotik's compound eyes refracted a pattern Melissa had never seen before. Later, she would learn it was the Jotik equivalent of deep respect bordering on reverence. I believe, the professor said slowly, that we have significantly underestimated what is possible, and I believe our models require extensive revision. As the council erupted into discussion, Melissa felt Jack's hand briefly touch her a shoulder gesture of solidarity between two members of a species that had done the impossible simply by existing. They were humans, forged in Earth's crushing embrace, and the galaxy was only beginning to understand what that meant.